Howdy Pixar fans, Dan Taylor from danthepixarfan.com back once again, and I could not be more excited for today's detailed, in-depth, hands-on review of Mattel's brand new and upcoming Pixar Spotlight Series Woody figure. Finally, everyone! So first off, a huge thank you to Mattel once again for sending this over to me ahead of its release so I can be one of the first to share my thoughts on it with you all. I am so appreciative. So right away here, you can tell just how special this figure is. Truly a masterpiece from the creators there over at Mattel. From the top tier sculpt with amazing articulation, the detailed soft goods, the swappable heads, the collector packaging, just the overall presentation, there's just so much wow factor here, guys, I can hardly handle it all. The packaging's design is sleek, minimal, and completely consistent with that of Kevin from Up, who was the first release in the Spotlight series. Make sure you check out my review on her first if you haven't already. Once again, one of my favorite aspects is the top here with the Pixar ball cutout, which is so cool looking but also practical as it lets some additional light into the package for when on display. And then the bottom here just to cover everything. And just like with Kevin, on this side here we have a little snippet about the Pixar Spotlight series, which you can pause and read, and the iconic Toy Story logo. Onto the opposite side here, and again we have some stunning Woody artwork in a really eye-catching blue color this time, and here's a look at how striking the whole collection looks so far when displayed together. And yep, my next review is Spotlight Series Wall-E, so stay tuned for that. You'll notice though, and I thought this was an interesting choice, that Woody doesn't have that nice glossy varnish numbering on the side like Kevin and Wall-E do. Even though it doesn't include it, just know in case there's any confusion that Woody is number 01 following Kevin, who kicked off the line this summer as number 00 since she was released as a con exclusive. And then the numbering continues on with Wall-E as number 02 and so forth. And then the back of the box here, which is the same layout as the rest of the Spotlight series. Again, I love that consistency as a collector. This time the creator insight quote is from character designer Ralph Eggleston, who was key when finalizing Woody's design as the original film's art director. His name is actually the first to appear in Toy Story's end credits, by the way. The other side of the box highlights the included reversible backdrop and concept art card, just like what was included with Kevin and the rest of the series. And of course, it shows off this amazing figure, Woody the man himself, in these detailed shots. I just love how everything from the packaging to the figure itself is all made with collectors in mind and with a collector's eye. I know that the Pixar team members there at Mattel are true fans just like you and me, and that they're making the types of toys that they want to see as fellow collectors in hopes that we love them just as much. And let me tell you guys, that's really paying off. Okay everyone, it's time to bust this thing out and take a detailed look at everything that this figure has to offer. Here he is, fresh out of the box. Sorry to all you in-box collectors, he's officially not mint anymore, and he looks absolutely outstanding. Just wait until you guys see this in person. Loose in the box this time around, there's the card and the clear figure rod. Pretty basic look for one of these types of things, but it's not like anything more is needed with it. And yeah, this obviously attaches to the base, which I'll go into more in a minute. As far as the Pixar Spotlight Series concept art card, which again is included with every Spotlight release, here's a closer look. So it's a nice sturdy cardstock and includes this iconic Woody concept art by Bud Luckey, which I'm sure many of you fans out there recognize. Again, the date here, 1995, is the film's release year and not the year the concept art was created. So this concept for Woody is actually dated 1994. And now that the figure is out, you can see this side of the backdrop a bit better. It uses the same general spotlight design as the Kevin one, only this time it's a different shade of blue, and an outline of Woody's sheriff badge takes the stage there front and center, replacing Kevin's silhouette. And just like last time with Paradise Falls, I personally prefer the movie scene inspired backdrop on the reverse side. In this case, it's the memorable Woody's Roundup merchandise display scene in Al's apartment in Toy Story 2. It's beautiful. I really can't think of a more appropriate choice here for background. For this release, the base is included on the blister here rather than taped inside the box, and it's the exact same shiny black Pixar ball design that's, again, included with every single Spotlight series figure. I loved it with Kevin last time, and I love it here just as much now. Really cool stuff. So there's just 3 plastic bands holding Woody in place here that you'll need to snip off, and there goes his head. Oh, sorry, that wasn't the most graceful removal. Before we take a closer look at Woody, I'm gonna dive into his hat and accessories real quick. His hat looks really good and for the most part is pretty accurate to the film. The only main detail I see missing is that the ring that kind of goes around the bottom center of the hat should be a darker brown color. And here's the alternative head that's included, which is a scared or concerned expression. And then here are the 2 alternative hands that you can mix and match. There's this closed fist one, I guess to recreate Woody punching Buzz or whatever, I don't know, something like that. And then there's this thumbs up hand, and you can see just how it inserts into the wrist with this little peg here, and the articulation point for pivoting. And now I'm going to go ahead and show just how easy it is to pop either of the heads on. They come off just as easily as well, so you don't have to do any major tugging, which is nice. And there we go! My man Woody, you are looking good. Truly, the rootinest tootinest. Okay everyone, it's time to look over every detail here, starting with the figure itself and the soft goods, and then after that we'll discuss articulation. Alright, so the 2 buttons on his chest are plastic, no silver outline though I noticed. His sheriff badge is also plastic. The overall coloring on everything is pretty accurate I'd say. If anything, maybe the belt buckle and star could have been a little bit more gold. Unfortunately, the holster doesn't have the red jewel in the center there, it's just painted brown. It would have been nice if at the very least it was painted red. All of the fabric is printed, so the bandana, the shirt, the vest, the pants, any stitch marks you see are just printed on to give off that appearance. Even the cufflinks are just printed, unlike the plastic buttons on Woody's chest. Again, the jeans are just printed to look like denim, they're not actually a denim material. Moving on to some posability here, Woody does have this unique boot articulation. You can point the boot toes up or down, the ankles are on a ball joint, and the full boots can rotate 360 degrees. So 3 pose points in each boot alone, which is pretty crazy. No Andy on the bottom, which is surprising, but yeah, I know that some will like these boot joints and some may not. I'm indifferent, it doesn't ruin anything for me, but obviously Woody's boots aren't posable in the film, so I can take or leave this feature. Oh, and we haven't really taken a look at the back yet, so let's check that out here real quick. All around, the head and hair look very movie accurate, no criticisms there. The ring for the pull string is just attached with some thread there, so it's just for show. Obviously, it's not a real working pull string, and this figure doesn't have any electronics or talking features. So underneath the fabric clothes is a standard plastic articulated body sculpt, so you can pose it in all the main areas. This isn't like a bendy wire type of situation here as far as posability. He's got ball jointed shoulders, articulation in the elbows and in the wrists. They can rotate 360 and be pivoted up and down. Of course, all the same movement here on the opposite side. He has ball jointed legs that can move up and down as well as outward and inward. There in the knees he has articulation and back to the boots, which I already showed. His waist can technically be rotated too, but the clothing restricts it from moving too much, and his head can also spin 360 degrees so that you can reenact
We toys can see everything.
And now I'm just going to briefly demonstrate how you can easily switch out any of the included hand options. So I'll add the fist hand to this side and the thumbs up on this side. There. It doesn't make much sense at all for Woody to be making an angry fist and giving a thumbs up at the same time, but whatever, you get it. And let's change up the head as well and add the concerned face. Obviously, there are lots of combinations here you can have fun with, and the options are so great, especially for those who enjoy creative toy photography, stop motion video, and more. It's really fun stuff. And what's a cowboy without his hat, right? I did want to note that the hat is a softer plastic material there, and here he is, the completed look with his hat, and he looks absolutely amazing. Guys, I cannot gush about this enough. And really briefly here, I wanted to show Woody with his concerned expression wearing his hat as well for the completed look. Next up, I'm going to assemble the display stand by just putting the rod into the base as so. Easy stuff. The clamp, or whatever you might call it, is also adjustable, so you can put it at your desired height when posing out Woody for display. This here is my favorite spot that I found for the clamp, which is right above the belt but still underneath the vest, so that it doesn't pinch the vest in any weird ways. Here in this spot, it doesn't mess with the soft goods and is still very hidden when propped up. You don't even notice it. See, even Woody gives it a big thumbs up, and if he approves, I approve. I also wanted to bring up that you can unvelcro his shirt from the back, and it can probably be fully removed. I'm not going to try it though. Not sure why you'd really ever need to do that, but I guess the option is there. If anything, this feature might be there to help you adjust the clothes when posing so that you can kind of loosen things up for more dynamic positions. Okay, it's almost time to wrap things up here, but I definitely had to show off Woody in front of both backdrops. Again, I'm the biggest fan of the Woody's Roundup background, but what do you think? Feeling the more minimal look or the more scene-specific? And since many of you are probably wondering, I know I would want to know if I was watching this, here's the standard 7-inch scale Woody figure from Mattel compared with the Spotlight series Woody. It's pretty comparable in size actually. Speaking of size, Spotlight series Woody stands at basically right at 9 inches tall when standing straight up. And to touch on retail price and availability, this is $40 and will be available exclusively online through Mattel. Pre-orders are expected to be posted very soon, and he will be shipping this fall, so hopefully right in time for the holiday season, since this would make the perfect gift for any Toy Story fan and or collector. Finishing things up with some of the super fun poses you can achieve here with this Woody, but this is literally just scratching the surface. One thing I do wish is that his toy mode expression was included, but that's being picky. There's already so much you can do with this figure, and I cannot wait to see everyone's photos and videos once this figure starts arriving later this year. If it isn't obvious, I can't recommend this figure enough. I think any major Toy Story fan would drop anything to get their hands on it. It's absolutely brilliant, and Mattel did an incredible job yet again. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel for more Pixar merch reviews, just like this from my personal collection. Find me all over social media, and I will see you in my next video.